So we all know that when we are using our Power Platform ecosystem, so everyone will be tightly bound with Microsoft solutions like using Azure DevOps or any Microsoft platform. But this use case which I'm presenting is specific where people all are using non-Microsoft technologies. They're just into Google Cloud, they are into Amazon and different non-Microsoft ecosystems. So they had brought this challenge to have this ALM process streamlined. So in this case, they have tightly used the Google Cloud, and they want to have the ALM process implemented. And here I'm showing a use case where I have implemented one of the GitLab and used Google Cloud for this integration. So I'm Pavan Yaragani. So I'm a solution architect currently working for Neosoft in Dubai. And thanks for joining my session. So let's get started. So this is some introduction about myself. So I think just I had a quick overview on this. Well, so let's move on. So in the session, for this session, so generally, as everyone know that mostly people will be using Azure DevOps in this ecosystem. So I'll be showing you GitLab, how we can use GitLab, which is a complete DevSecOps platform where we can run our tests, we can integrate everything, and we can use Google Cloud to deploy our solutions. So GitLab also has their own runners, which is a kind of agent, so which will be used to deploy our solutions from one system, like one environment to another. But currently in this use case, we will be showing, we will be using Google Cloud CI/CD capabilities so that we are not stick to one platform, rather we'll be using the hybrid setup, and we can completely unlock the best possibilities across the ecosystems, so that we are not stick to one platform in case of any failures. Okay. So in our project, we had these key challenges. So the ALM challenge, we had to use the non-Microsoft ecosystem. We don't have the, let's see, I'm also an good Azure DevOps person, but after going to this project, so the scenario is completely different. So they are using GitLab as a source code repository. So GitLab is a kind of a source code repository where people used to check in their code. They used to manage for any other process and all. And Google Cloud, as everyone knows, is like Azure, but it's slightly only used by Google ecosystem, Google, who are using Google and other Google services. So today I'll be showing you how we can use how we can invoke a pipeline which is stored in GitLab, and we will invoke that from the Google Cloud, and that will help us deploy a solution from a source environment in Power Platform to a target environment in the Power Platform. So for all this thing, we'll be using with the help of PAC CLI. So we'll be also utilizing the PAC CLI to deploy our solutions. So with the help of PAC CLI in the YAML pipeline, so we'll be achieving this complete thing. And also I'll be showing some of the best practices which we have learned in this while implementing this thing. Okay. So as everyone know, our project was initially the deployments were completely done manually, and people are doing very inconsistent the configurations movement using manual import. Everything is like, so there are many bottlenecks and there are many delays. So this kind of approaches, with this approach, we are able to solve all those things. Okay. And why we have used the cloud native, and because since our ecosystem is not on one thing, like they have the code on one repository. They're using the cloud, different cloud. So all these things are different. So we had to use the cloud native ALM, and we can't rely on Azure DevOps one platform, like a single cloud. So we have to use a cloud native approaches to achieve this complete deployment process. So I just flashed out this one just to show what are the key differences between the GitLab and Azure DevOps. The one main thing we need to be aware that GitLab, the Google Cloud, will offers a very minimal cost in terms of managing your complete CI/CD process. Generally, Azure DevOps will be generally preferred for large enterprises, but whenever your operational cost or your maintenance cost is too low, then people try to cut short their costs. So in those cases, Google Cloud and GitLab will offer an nice alternative which provides at a much lesser cost. So I think that is one of the key benefit where we can for small enterprises which they are in non-Microsoft ecosystem, they don't need to move, or they don't need to migrate completely to their Microsoft ecosystem and use Microsoft online services like Microsoft 365 and all. Instead, they can stay back in their Google Cloud system, but if they are still using Power Apps or any other Power Platform for managing their CRM operations and all, so they can use this approach where they can have the complete solution deployed using the automation. So we'll be using the Google GitLab, and then we'll be having the Google Cloud. And with the help of YAML pipelines, we'll be able to deploy a solution. And then with the help of in the YAML, we'll have the PAC CLI commands, so which will help us move everything. So, and also as I told, so Google Cloud is a good alternative. So it can also provide the serverless platform. So the ALM for this process, we'll use that. So this is the technology stack which we have implemented for our CI/CD pipeline. So where we are using GitLab, PAC CLI, Google Cloud, only these three things. So that's it. We are done. And believe me, I think I just started like 2 weeks back, and I was able to implement within, I should say, within less than a week. I will not less complete pipeline. I have completed in, I should say, 1 day. So I think it's very easy. You can easily get started, but I will show you. I think that is easy to, but I have written a blog post and I will be showing that as well, but I'll be showing you an demo which has the pipeline already built, so that I don't need to build from scratch. Okay. So I think, as I already told, so GitLab is a complete DevSecOps platform. So in Middle East, all the people are using the DevSecOps platform rather than using GitLab, rather than using GitHub. So they're using GitLab, where it is a complete DevSecOps platform with advanced CI/CD capabilities. Okay. And I think this is also an continuation of my earlier thing. So we are using Google Cloud in this case because it has complete integration with all other systems and also have the good Docker support. Okay, and as we know, PAC CLI is cross-platform. Earlier, I had this question that whether I was able to implement this approach using, because Google Cloud runs on Linux platform until unless we had purchased some subscription and all. But with this thing, we can run where our complete environment will be in Linux, and we had to use we can use Windows, but in order to use Windows, we need to run a VM kind of thing in Google Cloud. But if we don't want to host a VM and in Google Cloud, a Windows VM in Google Cloud, we need to have our pipelines running in a Linux environment. And as you know, Linux environment, we need to be very sure that I'm firstly afraid whether I was able to implement this approach. I know the approach is very well tested, but having that in a Linux environment is very uncomfortable. So I thought, let me try this. So there are a few, I should say there are a couple of lines which we need to be aware of. And those two lines, I think is very important when we are running a pipeline. Maybe I'll be showing those things in next few minutes where we will be. So once those 2-3 lines we are able to get that, we will be able to have the complete pipeline running. Okay, so this is our architecture. We can also so one thing is, whenever any code is pushed to GitLab, we can invoke our pipeline. The other is one is the manually triggered. Okay, either case we can use our we can initiate our pipeline and we can initiate our build. Okay, and also we have the other thing, which is Google Cloud Trigger, wherein we'll be able to initiate our pipeline manually as well. Okay, and lastly we'll have our solution deployed. So authentication strategy, I think as everyone knows, for Power Platform environment authentication, we'll be using service principal. So that is one of the best approach. We can use service principal, and we can create for that. Once we create a service principal, and we need to use an app user, and we need to register and we need to store that app user for this environment. And then for any security and purposes, we can use Google Cloud substitution variables, like an configuration where we'll be giving that substitution variables in our pipeline, and we can pass that substitution from the Google Cloud platform. Also we can specify some environment specific service principles in our approach, in our thing. Okay. So earlier we had some common pitfalls where other folks in my team were doing some kind of mistakes, like when they are deploying solutions, they are having some connection differences issues and some insufficient service principal permissions. So all these things they are facing. And sometimes when they are not handling the dependencies, I think can be handled. We can check that from the solution itself. Let's not get into not get much deeper into that, but I will just show you how we can streamline the entire process. Okay. And lastly, we don't have a rollback strategy in that plan, the old plan, and that's where they are facing the problems. And when business want to have a rollback. Okay, so finally, whatever lessons we learned was, we just keep very simple. We started very simple, and with iteration, we are able to achieve in very good amount of progress. And generally, we can test it in low environments, and we can document everything to have this approach working, and we need to make sure everything is planned properly. Okay, so performance optimization. Yeah, I think this is not much needed topic. I think so main thing is the benefits and ROI. So the main thing was the deployment time reduction, and we were able to see a large amount of reduction in the deployment time. And the quality is obviously guaranteed because it's all well predicted, and it's we just automate it, and it runs at its specified time or whenever a commit is done to a repository, so that it is no need of manual steps and all. Like if we can, for each project we can initiate this thing, and we can do this kind of approach, and we'll be able to streamline the complete process. Okay, now I'll just show you a quick demo where how I already have an YAML pipeline. I'll just show you a few lines which very important and key aspect for this complete process to work in a Linux environment. Okay, let me switch over to my other screen. So this is one of the pipeline which I have we have run. This is a Google Cloud platform. So I'll just show you from the beginning. So we can have some Google Cloud. I will just show a dashboard. I can show you. So Google Cloud Build is the CI/CD platform which offers the complete platform. So this is tightly integrated with GitLab. So I would be showing that as well. So this is how your Google Cloud the UI looks, and so once you let's say you have a Gmail account, and you'll be able to get started within few seconds, and you logged in with your Gmail account, and you search for Google Cloud. So you'll have an Google Cloud option, and you will get an option to try for free, and you just click on try for free, and you don't need to provide your what you say your even your credit card details. So you'll be able to I think we should have around $200 credit as well in Google Cloud as well. $200 credit for Google Cloud as well, and let's say not 200, 300 credits in Google Cloud Build. So and we'll be able to easily try out our complete thing. Okay, so the other thing was which I want to show is the GitLab. GitLab is so it's then a complete DevSecOps platform. Okay, so this is also we just sign in with our we can sign in with our Google ecosystem like our Gmail. Okay, so and then we like let's say we already have some projects, and now we will create some more projects, or we can have the existing projects running. So I had one project. Okay, so I had one project. So and so in this project we need to understand few things like GitLab CI/CD.yaml. There are two files. This is the main file. This YAML file will run when we need to run our GitLab runner. Okay, whenever we check in our code or do any changes to our repository, the initial GitLab.yaml file will be invoked, and if there are any GitLab runners, this YAML file will that GitLab runner will be deploying our solution to from source to target. And here we will not use GitLab runner, but we'll use Google Cloud. So we'll host our YAML pipeline in our repository. I have one dev repository. So in this dev repository, I have placed my YAML file. Okay. Solution is a loss export. Okay. So I have placed the YAML file. So this is my YAML file. Okay. So the main aspect is we need to write some steps. This YAML file will be specific for the Google Cloud build. But if you want to have the YAML file which is specific for GitLab runner, the syntax will be a bit different, but mostly it will be similar approach. Only the variables and all will be a bit different. Okay. So in order to install PAC CLI in a Linux environment, we need to make sure that apart from writing steps and all, we need to have few things. We need to create a directory for .NET tools in the home directory of the Linux environment, and then we need to use .NET installation like this command to install the .NET CLI from Microsoft .NET tool. Okay, and then this is the crucial part. We need to set the export path of the current session. Okay, this is the important part. If you don't set this export path, you will not be able to run your pipeline or anything in your Linux environment. So your complete approach will not work. So this is the one thing I searched everywhere. I could not get a good alternative. Even reach out to multiple people, but could not find online. And I think this is not documented, and even in PAC CLI documentation and all. So I think this is one important key point which we need to be aware of. Okay. So, and I think the other steps and all is very common. We authenticate we create an authentication profile, and we create an with the tenant ID and the application ID, everything, and then we create an auth profile. So this command is just to create an auth profile for this source environment. Okay, where I am going to export our command. Okay, and then this is just to show, this is just to list down like whatever authentication profile I have created. I just want to see whether it is created or not. So this I just put this like this to see if my auth profile is created or not. So then I will be exporting my solution. So this export solution is what solution to be exported. So here, if you see, all the variables are like $sign and in some brackets. So this is all kind of variables which is coming from my Google Cloud build. So from the Google Cloud build, I will be passing these variables which are configurable at the Google Cloud build side. So from that, from the variable, this pipeline will get the options and set it accordingly, so that our solution will be exported. And once it will export, I'm just putting an echo so that it just shows where it is exported. Okay, and then I'm authenticating to my target environment. So again, I'm creating an auth profile, and then connecting to the target environment. And once the target environment is connected, so whatever our solution which we have got exported here, right? So that one I'm pushing it and I'm importing to the source target environment. Okay, so these are the pipeline like variables which I'm passing from the Google Cloud build. So we need to just set some initial variables for this option to work. So these are the default variables. We need to set this for the default variable, but at runtime, these variables will be replaced by the value which we pass from the Google Cloud. Okay. So these are the initial default values, but this will be passed from your Google Cloud. Okay, we can also, so now let's go back to our Google Cloud, and then we'll see. So we'll go to, we need to click on console, go to console. Once you have clicked on try for free, so then you need to activate these APIs for Google Cloud API. And once that is done, you can click on go to console. So you'll be presenting with this dashboard. You can also set up approvals in your pipeline, and you'll be able to see how many successful, how many rejected, or how many builds are running at any point of time. So first thing we need to do is to let's go to repositories. Okay, so we all need to use the second gen GitLab, the Google Cloud repositories to connect this. First thing, we need to create a host connection. I'll just show you the steps, but I already created it. I will take you that later, but I'll just show you the steps when you can do this. Okay. So here we have options like, so GitLab is tightly integrated with Google Cloud. So we have an option showing like this, where we can connect GitLab. But when you go to Azure DevOps, we don't have this option to GitLab option there. There we need to create a connection, manual connection. But here since we have an GitLab option, we will be storing a region. So for me, it is the nearest region is Doha, and we'll provide some name. So we can also have the GitLab.com one, the self-managed. Their self-managed GitLabs are the one which is specific your own. In the GitLab will be hosted on your own environment. So here we'll be using the parent one, which is the GitLab.com. So we need to specify the API access token and the read API access token for our Google Cloud to access our repository. So this thing we can get it from the Google Cloud. So when you go to Google Cloud, when you go to GitLab, so you need to get an access token, right? So you can click on profile. You can go to personal access token. You can click on add a new token. You can just click on demo, and we just leave everything blank, and we need to provide a read virtual repository, and read API. So in order our Google Cloud to access our repository, we provide these permissions for this access token, and just we click create token, and the token will be active, and we can use this token. We can store it somewhere, and this will be make sure we store it somewhere, because it will not be shown later once we navigate away from this page. Okay, we copy this option. Okay, and then we put it here, the API access token, and we can put in the same thing in the read API access token, because we have given the same app token both permissions, like the read and the API access. Okay, once we have said, once we have done this, we can click on connect, and this will connect our repository to Google Cloud. Okay. So once this is done, so then we need to hop back to our parent one, and then you should see an option like this where you have connected your GitLab repository to your Google Cloud. So I had this connection already set up. Okay, then once we created this host connection, and then we need to create a trigger. So triggers here, we can use different types of triggers. We can use manual trigger, or we can use a trigger where when if any code has been pushed to a repository or anything happens, then your pipeline, which is stored in our GitLab, will be invoked by your Google Cloud across Google Cloud platform. Okay. Now let me show. So I have created multiple pipelines to one with approval, one with manual invocation, one with like it exports the solution, imports the solution, and also cleans the solution, like it deletes the solution. So all will be done with the PAC CLI, but we'll be using the complete different ecosystems like GitLab, all these things. Okay, now I'll show you my source and target environment. Yeah, I can show here. Okay, so this is my this is dev is my source environment where I have one solution called plugins for ALM GitLab. So this is very simple. I just have one plugin solution and one table. So only we want to export this whole thing, and we want to push it to our target environment. Okay. Now whatever setup we have already discussed, so we will use that setup to move this solution from the source. So this is my target environment. Okay. Where I want to, so it is very clean, so we don't have this solution. Now let's move this solution from our Google Cloud using the GitLab. Okay, now let me invoke a pipeline. So I will invoke the manual one so that I can show you right away. So here, so in order to show all these things, so I took a manual one. So here we will be providing the client ID. So these are the substitution variables, which is nothing but the configurations which we can provide to our Google Cloud platform, and this configuration will be passed as an variables to our YAML pipeline. So if you noted that in YAML pipeline, one moment. If you noted that in our YAML pipeline, we told you, we discussed that these are the variables, and these variables will be passed from the Google Cloud platform. So okay, so these are the variables which will be passed from your like let's say Google Cloud. Okay, so when you're running the pipeline at runtime, we can we can pass variables to all these parameters. So our client ID and client secret will be passed, and we also have a target environment client ID and client secret to be passed. So, and this will also tell what is the solution name and what is the home directory. So this is one more step we need to be aware of, that we need to set the home directory for this complete pipeline to run. if we want to let's say move connection references, Power Automate connection references, we can pass we can set a settings file, and with the help of settings file we'll be able to move that. So let's invoke this one. So this says that I am connected to a repository. So in that repository, I have one branch. So I have one branch called dev, and in that branch, I am invoking this pipeline. So that pipeline will be having, will be passing all these parameters to that pipeline, and we'll be pushing our we'll be moving our solution from source to target. Okay, so now I'm running the trigger, and we'll see how it will get invoked. So let me expand it. Yes. So the pipeline was initiated. So it is trying to actually run this code which we have stored in this one. Okay. This one actually, but the other pipeline where. We go to history. We can see that it is running still. So since we have set the export path, so this is the crucial one. So we need to set the export path. So in the current session, you will be able to invoke, like once you set the export path, where you want to export your solutions, and then you can install your PAC CLI. So this is all running in your Linux environment, but still you are able to install your PAC CLI commands. So once the auth this is running in Linux. So if you see here, Linux library security, I think library secret is missing, but I think we just don't need to worry about this thing, because we are able to have our other things working. So next thing is, once we are able to connect to our environment successfully. So this is our source environment. We have already connected from our pipeline in a Linux environment, and we are able to install our PAC CLI. PAC CLI was installed in our in this environment. So of course I have used some URLs which will be deprecated. So instead use your environment IDs, which is present in your Power Platform Admin Center, so that you will not even get this warning as well. Okay, so now once it is connected to a source environment, we will try to export the solution. So it says that it is trying to import. Now I'll just explain all these things. So a solution is export is succeeded. So it just tries to export the solution, and where it says that whatever the plugins for ALM GitLab which I showed, right? So I have configured in the GitLab, Google Cloud configuration where substitution variables. So that is passed to our pipeline, and this has exported from our source environment. And again, it is a Linux environment. And now it is trying to connect to our target environment. So now target environment is a new features environment, which is the target. Sorry. And so once it is connected to a target environment, then it tries to import our solution. Okay. And I think it may take hardly 2 to 3 minutes maximum to complete process. So it imported the solution successfully, and it is also trying to publish a customization at the same time, so that the complete process will be completed in another few minutes. Once it is done, I think we can take a look about our target environment, whether we had the solution or not. Let's see. So the one crucial thing which I want to inform you about this PAC CLI. So it has been cross-platform. We don't need to rely that plugins is still dependent on a single .NET platform, which is old, but the PAC CLI is moving, and we can use different platforms like Linux or different environments where we want to deploy or move our solutions, so that it is not independent, it is not dependent on a single platform. So that is my main intention or the motive before behind doing this session. And finally, it says that the solution got imported successfully. Let's go back and see whether it has moved to a target environment or not. And so this is the target environment. So this is our previous situation. Let's refresh and see whether it has moved or not. So obviously I had said that to move as a managed solution, and see, we had this solution moved to a target environment, which is the plugins for ALM GitLab. The same way we can implement the behavior, like if you have any dependency issue where your solution depends on another thing, then your solution ultimately gets failed. So let's say I will remove some dependency. I have a plugin step in the solution, but I will remove a dependency. I'll remove from this solution. In my source environment, I'm just removing this solution. I'm just clicking on publish. So now I just removed this solution, right? So I had created a dependency in my source environment. Now this one will not be exported because there is some dependency and we had missed the dependency in our solution. So all this behavior will be intact, and we can try the same thing from this again. We can invoke the pipeline again, so that we can see that the pipeline doesn't run and it gets stopped showing that error. Okay, let's try to invoke our pipeline again. So again, it goes to all the process which we had talked about, and finally it just don't it will not be able to deploy because there is some dependency pending, and until that it will not be deployed. So let this complete. By the time I think I don't have any more things. So this is one more step where we can install GitLab runner. If you don't want to install, like if you don't want to run our Google Cloud, if we like even use Google Cloud, we can have it running from their local machine itself, where in that case we need to use GitLab runner. So GitLab runner is also an easy to install, I should say. So wherein with the help of GitLab Runner, you need to have you need to download a binary like an exe file from your from online, and you just need to create one folder called GitLab Runner. You need to open command prompt in your admin mode, and you just need to open this one, and then you need to put this command like GitLab Runner exe.install. And once that gets installed, then you'll be able to run our pipelines, everything from a local machine. So I think this entire thing I have documented in a blog post, and you can find this blog post in this link. So those are the things. Now let's go back and see whether our pipeline has is still running. Okay. Yeah, I think it got completed. Okay, I think that's all I have for this session, and thank you everyone, and thanks for your time.